Greetings, what is up, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is hiding and the magpie is casting. Coming to you guys right now with a live 1 versus 1 battle featuring spawning in the north. It is going to be the Wehrmacht forces of Ektwr. And spawning in the south, it is going to be the United States forces of PanzerGrenadierAngreifen. Once again, PanzerGrenadier going to be venturing on outside of the Axis units, which we've seen him command so many times. So that's quite exciting. We'll have to see what he can do with these units. PanzerGrenadierAngreifen has featured a number of times on the channel and has established himself as a very competent commander who pays a lot of attention to his infantry units, and he's just a very solid all-round player who's just on the edge of trying to break into the very top tier of the game. You know, he's like undoubtedly an insanely good player who would beat 99.9% of other players, but it's like whether he can chill with the names like, you know, Jove, Javelin, Helping Hands, all of that lot. You know, can he break into those echelons is the question. And we don't really know the answer, but it's nice to see him branching out and trying other races for sure. Anyway, let's crack the tactical map and we can see how the forces have decided to disperse around the map and what units the two players have chosen. Looks like we've got an MG42 about to contact this rifleman squad. We're just going to zoom in and see the action here for a second. Looks like the MG42 will get deployed. Touch late though, already somewhat low on health, and these riflemen are in heavy cover, so expect to see the United States forces taking that little engagement there. But yeah, looks like we've got two riflemen, two rear echelons here for the American player. Looks like it's Grenadier, MG42, and Pioneers for now for the Axis player. What do we got going on over here? A little bit of a scuffle going over here. The map, of course, is Crossroads, and this is one of those slightly more volatile maps. Very close rush distance, if you like. Means that units can be entering the combat, you know, scant seconds after they actually arrive on the field. So, yeah, very thick and fast, very kind of a furious pace for Company of Heroes 2. This map definitely is. These riflemen here getting a beautiful flank here. PanzerGrenadierAngreifen setting this one up nicely, and Ektwr will be forced to fall this squad back. They should get out of here. I don't know, actually. Riflemen are pretty good at this sort of range. They're going to have to retreat across this negative cover for a split second. Ooh, that's so low. Oh, he does get picked down. Oh, that is a savage blow to be suffering at the 2.5 minute mark, losing an MG squad like that. And it looks like these Pioneers here doing as best as they can against the Riflemen, but trading evenly at the moment. PanzerGrenadierAngreifen actually moving his unit there, which is a little... That does slow down their fire, but looks like he's going to take that fight as well. And pushing as well down here in the southwest of the map. Going to be securing himself a victory point, fuel point, and getting everything secured up. So the opening engages are going, like, you know, definitely in PanzerGrenadier's favour. And we'll have to see if he can ride that success and try and convert it later on. Here are the Grenadiers, who are basically absent through that entire last phase of fighting. A full-man Grenadier squad is actually going to be enough here to force the fallback on these two squads of Riflemen, so that's actually quite nice, and it's going to limit the amount of advantage that Angreifen can take of the opening scuffles that definitely went his way. Now, PanzerGrenadierAngreifen has gone ahead and locked in a commander. He's locked this one in early, so he must have just wanted to play this commander this game, and it is, of course, the Tactical Support Company. I say he's locked this one in early because he doesn't get any benefits till 3 CP, and he's still, you know, not even at 1.5. But you know, sometimes you just want to play a commander. Sometimes you just know what you're going to do. So Angreifen, yeah, he's gone ahead and locked in that one. He's going to have the 1919 LMGs, which is so horribly good. And also, of course, they do bypass the weapon rack research, so you can crack the 1919s out onto your riflemen and turn them into infantry obliterating machines without the need to research a separate upgrade which costs fuel. So that's, you know, that is gas, as they say. That is money. That is turbo spicy value. That is digital. It's all the good things that we look for these days. Let's see now. Ektwr has not chosen his commander. He's got the Mobile Defense Doctrine. That's a more reactive pick. Looks like he's got the Mech Doctrine. Good all-rounder, possibly in the roster here as a sly answer to British forces. Always nice to have access to that Lef 18 artillery piece when the Brits are on the field. And what do we got here? The Blitzkrieg Doctrine. Oh, it's been a while since I've seen this one. That Stuka Close Air Support is especially spicy these days. But anyway, we've got a fight here going on across a reasonably large area. MG42 getting settled into this position here. Two squads of Riflemen doing their best, but Grenadiers in good cover, going to be taking the fight down under the watchful gaze of this MG42. And it looks like Angreifen going to have to fall back again here. But it's okay, because he has another unit gaining ground on the right. Actually, having said that, gaining ground, also losing skulls. Gaining ground, losing skulls, seldom a good trade-off to make. German marksman here, up to 6 kills, has been cutting these rear echelons down to size. He's probably going to have time for another 2 shots here, as long as he doesn't glitch out. Oh dear, he's probably only going to get 1. Oh well. I thought he might get 2 shots. He's not going to get any more shots on them. Dearie me. Somebody, what? I hope they're not paying that German marksman very much, because he is not earning his salary right now. Anyway, he's going to come across into mid. I like the German sniper hanging around. Anywhere between like here and here really is like my German sniper preferred area to hang around, especially when you've got an MG42 garrisoned in this position. It's just a nice supporting area, and the German sniper, has ever been a savvy and effective choice against the United States forces, because their infantry squads are so powerful, but also quite expensive on a per man basis. So the sniper can counter their strongest units whilst also making them pay dearly for it. It's quite nice, really. Anyway. These grenadiers here are going to have to fall back. The army right now of Ektwr getting kind of... is he not spending his money? No, he is. Okay. Let me just check the tech here. Okay, so he's gone up to battle phase 1. He does have his the mechanized company, and the bunker is coming down. That's where all his manpower has been going. Because, I mean, if you look, 2 squads of grenadiers, an MG42, a marksman, and some pioneers do not beat a captain, 3 squads of riflemen, and two rear echelon squads. If all those guys were to line up and start hooning each other at mid-range, the American forces would just take that one every day. So Ektwr right now, he's invested in some tech. He can heal when he falls back. He's got some good stuff going on, but he's going to have to weather this next, I would say, 2 to 3 minutes, this next phase of play for sure. In very much kind of in the shadow of the American forces. He can still take pokey fights. These are still good units, but he's going to have to look out, and the American forces are going to start developing veterancy quite soon, so going to have to be careful there. Now, the German player does have enough munitions for almost enough for a brace of LMG42s, but he's definitely got enough for one, and I would like to see him get that, because I just think these are the kind of fights, especially when you've got an MG42 and a sniper involved, when you need those grenadiers pumping out the DPS as much as possible. Anyway, pack gun's going to be added on here for Ektwr, which I like a lot. MG42 sniper combo going to push back a rifleman squad in mid, but the southwest flank here, sorry, this is the southeast flank here, kind of going the American player's way right now. PanzerGrenadierAngreifen chewing up the ground very nicely. Routes the pioneers who are in this area of the map and gets out of there. Now, there was a Stuart on the build queue momentarily, but it looks like PanzerGrenadierAngreifen has actually gone ahead and cancelled that. Thinking better of it, perhaps the Stuart was there in anticipation of a possible 222, but now that he hasn't seen the 222, he's probably thinking, you know what, I'm just going to save the fuel. He has actually gone for a pack howitzer, a very unusual choice, especially very unusual to see as early as the 7.5 minute mark. Now, I don't know, a lot of players on the fence about this unit. Unfortunately, it's kind of got a lot of the same problems that the light gun for the Overcommand faction has, insofar as it costs a lot, it's not particularly accurate, and it doesn't have a very good rate of fire, which means often you've got a very expensive unit that sits around apparently shooting but doing no good. If it actually gets hits, it's all right. And, it does have some reasonable range. I think it's at Vet 1 it gets extended range, or is it at Vet 2? Oh, sorry, it's all the way to Vet 3 for additional range. Okay, so its range isn't even that great, to be honest. Wow. But it is quite effective, and it can fire the high explosive barrage, which does good damage. You get the white phosphorus there at Veterancy 1, And this is going to be a nice counter to try and get rid of this MG42 and batter the buildings down. Also, it'll be a nice counter for this pack gun. I don't actually think PanzerGrenadierAngreifen has scouted this yet. He may have done. But anyway, indirect fire teams are always good against other weapon teams. S-minefield being established in a spicy position here, as Ektwr is getting settled in very nicely. If I crack the tack, you can see most of the American forces did have to fall back there. 1919 LMGs coming out now. But most of the American forces did have to fall back there, giving a window of field control to the Axis player Ektwr. And he's taken advantage of this. He's going to grab double fuel and, has secured the middle of the map with minefields and that MG42. Now here comes the American forces. PanzerGrenadierAngreifen going to be moving out first in the west, and then with 3 squads in the east making contact just now. You can see just down here, that's 2 rear echelons and a captain. These grenadiers actually trading really nicely at that range. Okay, here the American forces come. That pack howitzer beginning to make itself felt as well. But yeah, those grenadiers... Oh, dearie me, Ektwr needs to fool these guys back. There they go. I thought he'd forgotten about them for a second there. And it looks like these riflemen here overrunning. Where's the MG42? Has that one been routed? No. Oh, it's in this building. Oh no, it seems like he didn't cancel the facing orders. Okay, so if you tell your unit in a building which way to face, do remember to hit cancel afterwards if you want it to auto-face against flanking hostiles, because basically this MG did not turn its arc. Now, it could be that those pursuing riflemen just didn't ever trip through the arc, but I find that unlikely, so possibly I think this MG could have gotten some hits that it didn't. Anyway, pack howitzer actually is going to be useful there. It's gotten 2 kills on this MG squad and forces them back. Oh my goodness. Oh, this S-minefield getting a lovely squad wipe there. Ektwr doing fantastic work against the rifleman there, and killing a rifleman squad at the sub-10 minute mark. You cannot... Oh god, these mines. I don't... Whoa, these mines, dear god. Panzer Grenadier, you know they're here, so what are you doing? I guess he's just trying to clear them on this half track, but still, Okay. All right, that's the way we're going to play it. Anyway, well, he's obviously called in the half-track from the doctrine, which is a nice thing to be doing. But damn, losing a rifleman squad, as I was just saying, if you can kill an American rifleman squad at the sub 10-minute mark in the game, you've got to be feeling good as Wehrmacht, definitely. Anyway. Here we go. Yeah, PanzerGrenadiers have been added to the force roster. That's very nice. Let's check the tech here, because then we can get an indication. Okay, no sign of battle phase 2 yet from Ektwr, and he's stacking serious fuel. So that tells us he's probably leaning with going with a commander here at some point. Maybe. Well, all of his commanders give him the command tank. Wow, he must really like that command tank, doesn't he? So I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. All of his commander choices have a Panzer IV chassis unit, that command tank that they can give him. But weirdly, none of them have the Tiger tank, and I don't think any of them are really enough to rely on. You know, the Panzer IV command tank's okay, but it's kind of rubbish against enemy vehicles. So it's a Panzer IV that's kind of bad against vehicles, if you like. So he's going to need something else. He could rely on pack guns, but I mean, I don't know. He has to know he's up against Calliope's, so he doesn't need to worry about Pershings, but even Shermans will just bully Panzer IV command tanks all day. Anyway, the 1919 LMGs, which are the reason why Ektwr knows he's up against the tactical support company. They're here now, and just the difference they make in fights is just eye-watering. It is absolutely horrendous. Whoa, this half-track with no respect for its own life here. It's going to get Fausted. And there is a pack gun in the hood. PanzerGrenadierAngreifen is playing this game so recklessly. And perhaps this is actually just a mark of the fact that, you know, he is less experienced. He is probably less confident and capable, certainly less comfortable with the American forces. You know, he primarily plays Wehrmacht. I've seen him play OKW a few times. But as far as I know, learning most of the Allied factions is pretty new to him. Now, you know, he might be out there, if he ever sees this video, and sort of saying like, "Oh, Magpie, you don't know what you're on about. I've been playing Americans since day one on release." But you know, this is just kind of what I can kind of conjecture at from my position as just a caster. Anyway, where can I hear pack howitzer shells firing? That's because they're firing. There we go. Okay, Panzer Shreks have come down on the Panzer Grenadiers. So there's a lot of AT. Definitely Ektwr, not a Wehrmacht player who neglects his AT. He had that pack gun, you know, preemptively, and he has the Panzer Grenadiers with the Shreks here to back that up, and that's a nasty 1-2 AT punch. You know, that's pretty good. This half track may be not very long for this world. As I just have a sip on my drink. Yeah, 2 Shreks there gonna kind of ruin its day, and then boom, yeah, kind of going forwards into the minefield. That was pretty risky positioning, to be honest. Because Angreifen knew that his opponent's hardpoint is the centre, and that half-track either wanted to be up with this supporting infantry helping out with the guns, or, you know, away somewhere. But as it was sat here, it was basically just up against Fog of War when you know your opponent's main strength lies right here. That basically means that you can lose that unit just to your opponent moving a unit in this direction. And that's what we saw happen. You know, the Panzer Grenadiers fired a couple of Shreks. That triggered the half-track to be moved by Angreifen, but into the minefield, which kind of completed the kill there. And to be fair, there was a pack gun getting set up for that kill, even if the mines didn't complete it. So anyway, not the best positioning there on that half-track is the take-home message from Magpie on that one. Lol. So let's see, a couple of squads though. Riflemen going to be pushing up. Those 1919 LMGs just absolutely gross. A Rifleman squad here getting wiped though. Oh no, wait, was that the captain? I think that was the captain getting wiped there. Incendiary round there coming down off the sniper. So Ektwr here, I gotta say, you know, I've never cast him before, but I am earning, you know, he's earning my respect as a Wehrmacht player here. That was some sweet moves. This sniper has 20 kills at the 14-minute mark against United States forces. You know, that's quite a lot. And now using that incendiary round to cement further squad wipes, and it's Ektwr right now who's way ahead in supply. You know, he's up at 61 over 32 as we've got additional mixed skirmishing going on here in mid. If I rotate the camera, we can see all that action nicely. Okay, looks like a call-in being called in here. A call-in is being called in, that thing that they do. It's a P-47 strafing run, getting some okay damage, but I mean, nothing to, I mean, it killed one guy, didn't it? So nothing to write home about. And, oh, the incendiary round just... Did that just kill another rifleman squad? Yeah, it did. Oh no, and this rifleman squad on one man. Run! Angreifen, jeez. Oh man. Oh man, Angreifen just getting mauled here in the mid-game. Absolutely mauled. And Ektwr here in a very nice position. Now, let's look at the scorelines. Ektwr does have a lead, but it's only by like 100 and, well, let's call it 100 tickets. It's 95, but it's basically 100 tickets. And, you know, that's okay. that's not bad, but I mean, there's a lot of this game still to be played if Angreifen wants to play it. And, you know, there's no real reason why he needs to GG right now. I mean, he's definitely down, but he ain't out yet. And he's got a Sherman coming. Panzer IV going to be the medium armor choice here for Ektwr. So, I mean, let's just check the base quickly. We can see, of course, he has gone to Tech 2. He does have the support armor core. 2 snipers. Wow. Well, if it ain't broken, don't change it. Don't fix it. Because, yeah, these 2 snipers can just totally bully the entire US lineup. This is... woo! This is spicy stuff here from Ektwr. I gotta say, I'm really liking what I'm seeing. You know, and remember, he lost his MG42 squad. I mean, yeah, he can just pick it up again, but, I mean, you never want to do that, like, that early in the game. That's pretty big. Here comes the Sherman, though. So, Angreifen now with the first tank on the field. Not for long, going to be joined by a Panzer IV here momentarily. But, I mean, he has the bare bones of a functional army here. You know, he's got indirect fire, he's got an officer, he's got some infantry support. You know, he's got weapons on those units, you know, and 1919s, he's got Zooks, he's got a tank, he's got the 3/4-ton ambulance. You know, so he's definitely not out, but he doesn't have the luxurious position that Ektwr does, for sure. And Ektwr, indeed, getting quite confident here, pushing out way out onto the map against American forces. You know, that is always a risky thing to be doing. Anyway, yeah, the Sherman going to be making its presence felt here. Well, you've got to be careful, though. You don't want this, I mean, that is almost in Fausting range already, and there's a Panzer IV in the hood. Plus, you know, there's Panzergrenadiers with Shreks and a pack gun that you know about if you're PanzerGrenadierAngreifen. So that Sherman just perhaps overstepping the line a little bit. Takes a Faust. Also getting a nice penetrating hit on the opening shot there, so that's really nice. He is set to AP rounds, so now let's just focus on this tank battle here. Panzer IV's frontal armor providing, you know, is proof against that second shell, and whoa, seems like Ektwr wants some more action. He's going to come in. Oh, the snipers have found this pack howitzer again, and now the Panzer IV is going to get involved. But the Sherman wants to turn. The Sherman wants to turn to bring its other armor to bear. Okay, maybe this is the better line, actually. Maybe turning not so good. Okay, yeah, here he comes. And now there could be an opportunity to catch these snipers. I would love it if... oh, he doesn't have the munitions, but that 50 cal makes a huge difference. Uh-oh, there's a pack gun here, though. So the Sherman has to be scarce. All the infantry is rushing in. Pack howitzer gets a great shot there. A fantastic shot onto the pack howitzer. I believe that was a phosphorus round or something. No, it can't have been. I don't know what that was, but it burned. And now the American forces are pushing forward. The Panzer engine gets stricken. Here comes the Sherman getting very brave. Comes in for the kill on the Panzer IV. Angreifen is making it happen here. No, he does lose the Sherman. I think that was to a combination of Shrek plus incendiary round. Believe it or not, that MG42 does do piddling amounts of damage, and when your tank's on mere pixels of health, that piddling incendiary rounds can actually complete a kill. But I think it was the Shrek that got that. But yeah, picking up the Panzer IV there. Pretty nice, but he's still under a triple cap. His opponent still has double fuel, which means that the Ektwr here can rebuy his Panzer IV, and that you can see, you know, nearly halfway built already. Whereas we ain't going to see another Sherman for some time here. Now Angreifen's stacking a ton of manpower. Oh, he's actually just going to GG out. Yeah, he knows when he's defeated. I mean, if this was a tournament, 661 manpower is, you know, that's quite a lot. And he could have had, like, you know, maybe another rifleman squad and an AT gun on the field, which actually would have made this, like, you know, more or less even, except for the fact that a Panzer IV is coming out in a bit, but, you know, he's not too far behind in other metrics. But Angreifen here, having seen enough, he's going to GG out the game, as is his right, and that is fair enough. The game there not going that well, and I find this often happens whenever you try to play off-race, if you like, whenever you play a faction that you're not, you know, as used to as your main. It all tends to go quite well for the early game, because there aren't that, you're not dealing, you know, you're usually not controlling more than 6 or 7 units in the early game, and you have a strong understanding of the basic properties of any race's infantry. You know, like, if you're not used to playing Soviets, you still know what conscripts do if you've played this game at all. You know, you still know how to take fights with them, you still know how to micro them and things like that. That's all fine. But it's when you get above that level, and you have to think about the faction's infrastructure. You know, if you're used to playing Wehrmacht, you're very used to falling your units back when it's time to get them out of the fight, and then they get healed and reinforced in the base, and then you bring them back out. With American forces, that's not really how they organize themselves. You know, they've got the 3/4-ton ambulance, which can be a mobile healing and reinforcing point. They've got the Major, which is a mobile fallback option. You know, if you want to play like Wehrmacht, you can just put the 3/4-ton ambulance in the base and call it a day. That's fine, but you're not really getting the most out of the American forces there. And if you do try with the Major and things, what I often find anyway when I come to American forces is that it's all going well until I lose the Major, or I forget to set the rally point or something, and then my units are falling back and I don't know where to, and I'm having difficulties healing and reinforcing them. that's kind of what I mean. Is like it's easy to play through the early game with a faction that you're not so great with, but it's in the mid and the late game that you really have to have that muscle memory and that in-depth, high-resolution knowledge of a faction to really get the most out of it. And I kind of feel like PanzerGrenadierAngreifen's at that stage where the early game actually went really well, but he just wasn't able to really make a dent in the mid game. And actually didn't even make it to the late game. Such was that mid game. So anyway, yes, that concludes this video. Thank you very much for watching. And for now, this is Magpie842 signing out.